It's really common after a day out gardening that you'll find that you have an aching back. And that's because gardening is full of bending and lifting and twisting, and those are all posture traps, right? So we're going to make sure that we have some good posture while we're gardening, and it's really gonna minimize those aches and pains that you'll feel at the end of the day. So the most common thing that I see is people rounding their backs as they garden. They're just kind of sitting back, and when they want to get closer to whatever they're doing, they round forward like this. And we know that whenever you round your back, whether you're sitting, standing, gardening, or whatever, you're putting a lot of unnecessary wear and tear on your muscles. And so you want to have a nice straight back, a nice neutral spine whenever you can. And so what I'm going to do, instead of sitting back on my heels, I'm just going to lift up here so I can be on all fours with a nice straight back and do a little bit of gardening from here if I'd like. And that's protecting my spine much more than collapsing forward would. Now, another thing that you can do is you can use a small stool or a bucket as a little seat. So I'm just gonna sit on this. I have my legs nice and wide here so I can really hinge forward. And again, I'm able to just completely relax and get to my gardening here without rounding, staying nice and straight. And another thing that you can do if you have a little bit more flexibility in your hamstrings is to do just a standing forward hinge. So all I'm doing is I'm just keeping my knees not all the way locked out, they're a little bit soft, and I can just kind of go from here. I can support my hand and reach out over here, keeping my spine nice and straight as I'm doing that. Another thing to keep in mind is that it's really easy, especially when you're pulling weeds, to think, oh, I'm just gonna twist over here and get these ones, or I'll just twist over here and get those ones. And all of that twisting, that repetitive twisting, is really gonna put some wear and tear on your spine. So you wanna make sure that if you're going to pull weeds over here, you don't need to twist your spine, just move your whole body so that you're in an aligned position. One other thing that's very common when you're gardening is that you're going to be lifting things, bags of dirt, flower pots, whatever. So when you lift something, it's the same idea. You want to keep your spine straight. So I'm going to, when I hinge down to pick something up, I'm bending from my hips are going backward. I'm not bending from my spine. And when I pick it up, I'm just going to lift from my legs, keeping that weight nice and close to my body.